Thank you for tuning in to the Catch a Lift Fund's Coach's Corner podcast. We hope you enjoy today's episode and will consider supporting the Catch a Lift Fund and the veterans we serve. Visit our website for more information about our programs at catchaliftfund.org. If you are experiencing a mental health crisis or suicidal thoughts, please call 988 or the Veterans Crisis Line 988, followed immediately by the number 1. The views and opinions expressed during the Coach's Corner podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the Catch a Lift Fund. The Catch a Lift Fund does not verify or warrant the truth or accuracy of statements made during the podcast, and statements therein are not to be construed as an official policy or position of the Catch a Lift Fund. This podcast is provided for informational purposes only, and nothing herein should be construed as health, medical, or other professional advice. The Coach's Corner is a place for veterans to connect, heal, and share their stories. I'm Melissa Luke, the host of the Coach's Corner podcast. I am a U.S. Army Iraq War veteran, coach, and program director for the Catch a Lift Fund. The Coach's Corner is sponsored by ID Technologies. Welcome to this week's episode of the Coach's Corner. We've got another great episode today featuring part 2 of U.S. Marine Corps veteran Tylor Holstein's story. Welcome to this week's episode of the Coach's Corner. We'll switch gears here in a minute and talk about, your fitness and catch a lift. But before we do that, I was wondering if you could speak to any veterans who are listening who are in a dark place, and whether they're currently seeking help or they're not right now, what you would tell them.
There are people out there that care about you. There are programs out there that care about you. There are other human beings out there that care about you. Like, even if you don't have kids, like I had kids, right? So that for me was like the biggest motivator to get better. But even if you don't have kids, if you have a brother, sister, a mom, a dad, aunt, uncle, we all come from different backgrounds. Everybody's upbringing is different, but I guarantee that there are people out there that care about you. You have to want it, because it's really easy. Like I just gave this, basically it was what, a 5.5 year run of dealing with the VA, right? Yeah. I didn't want it at first. It was so much easier to be, for lack of a better term, the victim of your circumstance, right? Like, you have to want to get better, because you can look at it like an addiction, right? Like they say all the time in those places, like, you have to do it for you. You can't do it for your mom, your dad, whoever, all those people I just mentioned, right? Yeah. You've got to be a little bit selfish. You have to go, and you have to, because one thing that drives me nuts is the VA gets crapped on, which, look, it's not a perfect system. It's not, right? I've experienced great and I've experienced bad, but I know for a fact, if you walk in, it can be a clinic. It does no hospital. You walk, like the clinic over here that I go to, you walk into that clinic and you say, I'm going to hurt myself. They're stopping what they're doing. They're sitting you down in an office and they're finding you a bed somewhere, right? Like that. And they're going to pull somebody over for mental health. Like, they take it seriously. Yeah. You call that Veterans Crisis Line? I've called that thing 3 times, and it saved my life each time. Because they don't send, they're not sending guys with guns and stuff to come get you, and they're sending an ambulance. Sure, a cop's going to be there, right? But guess what? Chances are that cop's probably a veteran or somebody in his family.
Yeah, right.
A lot of cops are vets, and that Veterans Crisis Line, it's there for a reason, and it works. You just have to want the help. And, if you are going through a tough time and you don't know where to turn, reach out. I don't have social media and stuff, but reach out to Cal and ask for my email, because I'll respond. Yeah. But there's people out there that care about you and they want you to be better. You just don't be afraid of it. I know it's scary. It is. It's scary to get in touch with those feelings and those inner monsters and inner demons and all the stuff that we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
But just go and get after it, right? Like one thing that I that was told by a guy that I was in that program with is he said, he was one of the graduates and he came back and talked to us and he said, the one thing I do now is I look back at what I was like at 18 years old when I decided to join the military and what that person would say to me now.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And when he told me that, I was like, oh, dude, that guy would have punched me right in the mouth, for it's not weak. That's the biggest thing.
No, it's not.
Too. It's not weak. And you got, actually, I think it's weak if you don't go, right? Because I've been on both sides of that coin, right?
Yeah.
Like I've almost made my kids orphans, you know what I mean? I've almost not been here, and that's selfish, and to me, it's weak. It's the easy way out. It's hey, I can't deal with this right now, right? That's what's weak, is not getting help. Getting help, man, I don't care. I'm sure there's going to be detractors out there, but getting help isn't weak at all. And we have to stop comparing traumas too. You can't.
Yeah, you're so right there. Yes, you're so right there. Yep.
Can't do that, right? Because not everybody experiences everything the same, right? Like for me, knowing as much as I know now about myself, the military wasn't what caused me to have my issues. That was just a straw that broke the camel's back because of my upbringing, right? Like, yeah, like if there's one thing people take away from that little 5-minute ramble is just go, go, right? If you think you need help, just go. And if you don't want to go, right, or you want to talk to somebody, like I said, just reach out. I guarantee you there's a person in your phone that will talk to you. Yeah. And if you can't find somebody in your phone, reach out to the people. If you're, involved with Cal, reach out to the people that are involved with Cal and ask for my email and I'll talk
absolutely.
To you. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. Like it just, that, like for me, so that it's weird I said that because I wasn't even planning on that. I was struggling really hard after we agreed to do this because I don't want people to think that I'm coming on here being braggadocious, talking about myself, doing all that, right? Because it's not that. I'm doing this because I've been through a lot. Right. I've basically experienced everything you can in the veteran community, right? And if it helps one person, then it helps then it was a success to me. Yeah. Like it's not. I'm not doing this for me. Like I'm good. Like I'm comfortable in my own skin. I don't worry what other people think about me, except at work. I get really, really sensitive about work because I'm a weirdo. Like I want people to like me, right? Not my coworker, not people on my level. I want the people above me to like me. You know what I mean? I gotcha. But like it was a struggle, and like I told you before we started, I reached out to Rich, I reached out to Kevin, I reached out to Barrickman, I reached out to Del Garza, I reached out to Ripley, and I asked, and they told me, do your thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they know where my intentions are at, right? And I know what my intentions are. You do too. Yeah, absolutely. But when I say, like, if you need to talk to someone, get my email. If you're involved with Cal, get my email, right? And I'll talk to you. You know what I mean? Like I know I have a lot of resources in the communities, and if I can't figure it out, I know someone who can. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I've built these relationships with people, and it's just go attack that problem the same way that you attacked getting in the military, being on deployment, being on an operation, right? Kicking in a door. Attack this problem that you're dealing with that same vigor and aggressiveness, and good things are going to happen for you. I promise. I think it won't be an overnight success. Right. Because I'm impatient. I can't speak for all veterans, but I'm extremely impatient. No, I think we all are to some degree. I think we all are to some degree. And it ain't working, right? But so you got to be patient. You're going to have your ups and your downs, right? But the trick is not to quote a doctor that I worked with, but it's about managing your peaks and valleys, right? Because for me, my valleys were really, 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 really deep. Yeah. For a long time, and now it's more, it's like it's just like doot doot. your heartbeat, right? That's what it is. And like, if I didn't have my family, I don't know where I would be. If I didn't have my kids, if I didn't have my amazing wife who puts up with my crap, and she's just been a godsend. Never once have I felt like
that's tremendous.
She's judged me or felt embarrassed by me or anything, except the once in July when the reason why I quit drinking, but because I acted like a fool that night. But that was the only time she was embarrassed to me.
But no, I think that's a really good way, of looking at it, and definitely thank you for speaking on that, Tylor. Because
and you just. Well, just one more thing. Sorry, Melissa, but just one more thing too. Like, we all have made mistakes. Like, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, especially back then when I was in that headspace and I was really, really struggling. And I just, if I hurt anybody from then to now, like, I'm sorry. Like, that's not me. You just have to. The biggest thing is acceptance. Like, you have to accept, okay, something is going on.
Right.
Let's get after it, and just get after it, man. There's nothing wrong with getting help,
Yeah.
And I mean that when I say, if you get my email and you email me, I will reply, and I'll give you my phone number, and then we can talk on the phone, because I take it seriously. Like, I'm so sick of losing people.
Right. Yeah. We all are.
The last count I personally did, I think it was 30 or something like that. Was the last count. That was back in 2016, and I know that number's only grown since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
And I'm sure you've experienced it, and everybody else that's a vet has experienced it. Even first responders are starting to experience it like crazy too. There is one other person I want to mention before we move on to how I became involved with Cal and stuff. Michael Purcell. I grew up with this dude, and he passed away, I believe, a couple of days before I got into country. And I remember a conversation I had with his older sister, we graduated high school together. Mike was a year younger than me. She was just like, we just lost Mike. Like, what are you doing over there? Yada, yada. Because no one knew, right? Like, I just kind of joined and left. Like, one day I'm there, one day I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of like the Houdini of northern Utah, right? Which is cool because I haven't been back since. But, and like, it just, even then, it didn't hit me that it was real, right? Because, I mean, one thing the Marine Corps is great at is making you feel like you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof, right? Like, and they teach you about all this history, all this lineage for that reason, so that when you get over there, now you want to be the next John Basilone or whoever. Nobody's ever going to be John Basilone. I'm not saying that, Marines. Don't come at me with your hate daggers. You know what I mean? But that's kind of how that's what they want, right? And there's a reason why they pick 18 to 22-year-old young men, right, to do that job. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I forgot about Mike when I was talking, and he that still didn't make it real. But then when we lost Steve and then we lost Sean, it was just like and then all the one cents. But so enough sad stuff. Let's talk about some happy stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about let's switch up gears here a little bit. And Tylor, talk to me about Catch a Lift, and talk to me about Coach Don specifically too.
Oh, okay. So what do you want to know? Like, how I got involved
how'd you find Catch a Lift, and how is working with Coach Don helped you move forward in your fitness and holistic lifestyle?
Oh, so I mean, I knew about Catch a Lift, man, like I want to say back in 2010. But I have and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but it's always like somebody else needs that. I don't need it. Somebody else is more deserving. I don't need it, right? So I've known about Cal for a long time. I actually applied, I believe, 2015, but I was in a weird spot with the treatment and stuff like that, and then applied again. And then there was like a snafu with me not getting emails because they were going to spam, and I don't ever check the spam. I just delete them, right?
Yeah.
So I've gotten better at checking spam. But you guys worked with me, and I got enrolled, and then I had my meeting. Hopefully he doesn't get mad. My intake meeting with Coach Rob, another Marine, kind of a similar story. Hit it off. Everything went good, and then I can't remember who I talked to after that. Maybe Callie or Kaylee.
Yeah.
And then started the online stuff with being accountable, checking in for the 8 weeks, meeting with Coach Don, and that guy. You talk about someone that knows what he's doing. My goodness.
Yes,
that
Coach
guy,
Don does, right? Yes. I learn something every time I talk to him.
Man, he's probably forgotten more about nutrition and health than I'll ever learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Like just this, and it's crazy, right? Because I mean, I have health issues with not taking care of my body for a decade, drinking all the time, eating like crap. So now I'm paying for it, right? And then he's really good about I understand you. He just the info he gives, he's awesome. I mean, right now we're at because the way my work schedule is, we do an email thing.
Okay.
Right. And now I finally get to tell him hey, I do read all your emails. I'm sorry I don't reply to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do read them. You know what I mean? And I don't want you thinking I don't, because he puts a lot of time and effort
he does,
and knowledge
for sure.
into his stuff. And he's awesome. He's a good dude. Really good guy.
Yeah, he is.
Really good guy. He takes his job very seriously, and I admire that in people. You know what I mean? People who take what they do extremely serious. I admire that in people. He's great to work with. He's great.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
Being on there, and then you come into the community and you meet other people, other vets. There's other coaches that there's just something about them where you're just like, man, I'm motivated to do something today. You know what I mean?
The Kale community is incredible, right?
Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome, and it's nice to, because I got over for a long time. I was the type, and I'll admit it, I was the type that you weren't in the Marine Corps, you weren't nothing, and then if you weren't the infantry in the Marine Corps, I have nothing for you, right? That was my mentality, which was really stupid, but it's the way it was, right? And now I'm not like that. The way I look at it is if you signed on the dotted line anytime between 2000, we'll say, because the world was, USS Cole happened in 2000. We were on our way to war somewhere.
Yeah.
So anytime from 2000 to, there's stuff going on now. So we'll say, when did we pull out of Afghanistan? 2020? Was it 2020?
Yeah, it was either 2020 or 2021. I can't even.
I don't remember. It was a crap show, but we're really good at doing war things, but we're not really good at pulling out and rebuilding.
Yeah, the ending is rough, right? Yeah.
Everywhere except World War II was the last good one when we rebuilt Europe.
Yeah.
Everything since has been garbage. But not to make light of it. It was terrible, but it's just, what can you do but laugh? You have to laugh at things, and just the incompetence. They had 20 years to prepare that exit, and that's what we got.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's
but not to get too political. Anyway, so anybody who signed up from 2000, we'll say till the year before the end of the Afghan war.
Yeah.
Nobody can take that away from you, right?
Yeah.
You're in a very small group of people that knew something in the world was going on that you were probably, depending on your job, you were probably going to go and take part in.
Yeah.
Yet you willingly chose to do that, right? That's what makes our military the best, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
People can get into their political stuff and all that, but ours is an all volunteer, right? And if you need no further evidence that forcing people into a combat situation, look no further than the current situation going on in the world right now. I don't need to mention it.
Yeah.
But there is no reason why a country that is known for its bread baskets and giving the world wheat should be dominating the country that they're dominating, but they are, because they're volunteering, right? So don't let anyone ever tell you that, oh, you were in during this time, but you didn't serve in combat. Don't matter.
Right.
I can't, guys like me in the infantry and special operations can't do their job without got people, men and women back here doing the smart people.
Yeah, job, for sure. Right? Yeah.
So don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not good enough because you didn't do something that other people did, right? You signed on a dotted line and you chose to willingly join the military. Depending on when you joined, there was 2 wars going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
For the first 10 years of the 2000s. So No, I respect and I admire anybody that does that.
Yeah.
Even today, like I don't care, right?
Yeah,
Like even today.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a rough lifestyle, man.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Regardless of, like you said, whatever job you're doing, where you end up, it truly is. And we wouldn't be able to sit here and talk like this if it wasn't for those men and women, who have in the past put their lives on the line, and those that currently still do. Right. So, no, we're forever grateful. What are some goals? What are you working towards now, Tylor?
I mean, I'm trying to, dropping the weight. It's a big thing, which I have done, but I'm trying to lose the stomach, right? Like you heard it. My dad always told me, enjoy while you're young, right?
I think we all heard that, right?
Now I get it, right? Because like no matter what I do, right? Like I slay my soul in the gym, my home gym for however long, and the stomach just doesn't go away. So that's goal number one. No, I'm just kidding. No, but just keep doing what you know what I mean. Just keep doing it because the working out and that stuff it helps with the depression and it helps with all the negative thoughts, right?
It does. Yeah.
It's amazing what that stuff will do for you. I wish I had listened because I got a friend. I'm gonna pull up his one sec. I'm gonna give him a free plug, but his name's Austin Curtis. We went through boot camp together, kept in touch. He lives in Illinois, and he owns his own gym called the Performance Lab, and he helps a lot of young men, athletes, and stuff with stuff.
Okay.
And he's always been big into fitness. I mean, he's a monster. He's just a big human being, and he would always be like, "Get in the gym, get in the gym, helps, get in the gym, get in the gym." Get shut up.
Broken record. But,
yeah.
Broken record.
When I got involved with Cal, and I told him, "Hey, dude, I'm in the gym." He's like, "Yeah, 10 years too late." You know what I mean? Come on, dude.
I love it.
Right. So I mean, it helps. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, right? Like, if let's say you don't lift, right? Well, you got push-ups. You can do push-ups. Do 50 push-ups a day.
Movement.
Anything, right?
Movement. I mean, just move. Anything. Just move.
Yeah. So I mean, it really helps with the depression and all the negative like self-talk that we can give, right? Because that's what I do. I just, me personally, I just beat the crap out of myself. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're garbage. You're garbage. Right. And I do it a lot when it comes to work, right? Because I take my job very seriously, what I do. And I'm always like, oh, your bosses hate you. You're a dirtbag. You're a dirtbag. Right. And I just beat myself up. And then I'll come home and I'll just slay my soul. And I'm like, dude, whatever. Like, if I don't hear from them, right? Because my thinking is if I don't hear from them, then they don't like me, right? Which is really stupid. But that's how I think, right?
Yeah.
Like, but then I'm like, after I work out, I'm like, no, dummy. If you don't hear from them, that's a good thing. Right?
I was gonna say, that's a good thing.
You don't want to hear from them. You know what I mean?
Don't want to hear from them.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, working out, and Cal came into my life too when I was starting to struggle again, right? And it gave me something to, because like I tell people, because I tell everybody about the program and stuff, and
thank you for doing that.
BA program I went into and whatever, and I tell other vets about Cal and all that, right? And I'm just like they don't give you this stuff for free, right? Like there's accountability, which I like, right? Now it gives me a goal to work towards, right? Which I think it's designed that way because that's how our mind works, right?
Absolutely.
Like, that's how we thrive is we need like the next objective to do, right? And that's what's great about it. Like right now, I mean, my goal is to get the weight down. That's goal number one. But I want to be off all the medication I'm on for the diabetes and stuff too. Like that's the biggest one, right? Because I mean, I'm only 35, and it is what it is. I don't blame anybody. Like some vet at VA was like, oh, you should put in a claim for the burn pit stuff. I'm like, what does burn pits have to do with me drinking and eating like a moron for 10 years, right? Like that's why I have diabetes, right? It's not because of a burn pit, maybe, but in my case, no. You know what I mean? Like I know why I got it. You know what I mean? Like I know why I got it. And it. Yeah. I've had it for a couple of years, and I'm an idiot. I'll admit it. I'm an idiot. Like my wife's always like, "You're an idiot," but she doesn't say it. But this is my inner monologue of her talking. You're an idiot. go get, you need to do better at the eating. You need to, watch what you're doing. And me being like, nah, whatever, right?
But you're getting after it now. I mean, you're doing it. Yeah. You're moving towards that goal.
Yeah, and she's great. Like the problem is, and this is what I told her, I put it on her. It's like, well, if you weren't such a good cook, maybe I would be able to jump.
I'm not gonna lie, that's difficult, especially when the spouse is a good cook. I get that.
Man, bakes, like I gotta have a little self-control, but when you're baking all this amazing stuff, and I know how good it is, like I can't. Right?
Yeah, you already know now.
No, but like we fluctuate, like doing the keto thing, because every time I've done keto, like I've gotten diverticulitis.
Okay.
So I can only do it for like 6 weeks, and then I have to stop, right? Okay. And then so it's finding something else to do, because I don't mind eating chicken, but I can't eat chicken breast. Nothing I do to that piece of meat makes it good, right? And I've used other people's recipes, even people on Cal. I've used their recipes, and I'm like, either it's a me thing, which it probably is, or it's just this piece of meat, right? So I like the chicken thighs, right? But it's just good. It's like, it's just there's really no excuse, right? Like, I mean, I'm doing okay now. I mean, I got the sugars really under control.
That's good.
Since the beginning of the year. I mean, I've been getting after it since the rower came. I can't remember if it came in December or November.
That's awesome.
I love that damn thing.
It's a great workout. No, you're good. It's a great workout.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I've only cussed twice.
There really have been. That's awesome.
I dropped the F-bomb, and I just cussed right now, which anybody who knows me is probably like, this isn't Tylor, you know what I mean? But I mean, and to go back to the coaches and stuff, like, because one of the things we have to do, is, as but I'm just saying this for people listening, is we have to join, I believe it's 3 groups minimum on basically Cal's Vet Connect, which is basically like a veteran Facebook. It's it's guys and gals in Cal. So I was scrolling through. I joined the one with Callie because that gives me a lot of great information. I joined Rob's because I had that connection with him, because he was the one that brought me in, gave me the interview and brought me in. And then I joined Coach Nicole's nutrition boot camp. Those were the first 3 I did.
Nice.
And that Coach Nicole is a savage in all the good ways. Like she
absolutely rocks. Coach Nicole is the best, and she knows her stuff. And
there's no way you can't read something that lady posts and not be motivated to do something.
Heck yeah.
It's just crazy. And then so through that, then I joined another one that Vivian does. I don't know if she's a coach or not, but I joined her group.
Coach Viv.
And she's just like Coach Nicole. They're both just
so motivating, both of them.
Savages in the good way, right? And
so absolutely.
That's the group I'm probably the most active in, is Coach Nicole's, because that's where I post. Because I notice all the people in there are like-minded, right? Like they think like me and her. So I post on there all the time, like just like 2-week updates, like, hey, this is where I'm at, this is what I've been doing. Sorry, I've been gone, whatever. Right. And she always replies, man. Always replies. Which for me, I don't care if you reply or not, right? I mean, some people might need that, right? Like, hey, is somebody seeing my stuff? But man, she's amazing. Like, they're both amazing. Everybody I've worked with at Cal so far is amazing. Even people I haven't worked with are amazing. You know,
the Cal coaches, they're second to none. Like, they're the heartbeat behind this program, and they do so very much, so selflessly for our veteran athletes.
And then you got people like I was listening, because I picked like probably 15 random podcasts after we decided to do this, right? Listening to them. And the one that stuck out was Sarah Rudder. Like, listening to that lady talk, like, I'm like, how? Like, I have no excuse. You know what I mean? Like,
talk about motivation, tired, right? Sarah will tell you.
Excuse. You Sarah know what I mean?
Will tell you. Yep.
Whew, and I mean, but here's the crazy thing, right? This just shows the growth. Goes back to what I would tell veterans, right? 10 years ago, listening to her talk, there's no way I'd be involved in Cal, because it's not. She's an amputee, right? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with me, and I hope she doesn't get upset that I said that, but she's an amputee. Okay.
No, Coach Sarah won't.
But 10 years ago, I would have looked at it like, no, like, that's not like, what's wrong with me? Like, I don't deserve this, right? But having that growth, having gone through what I've gone through, and and gotten the perspective, and yeah, like I can't, there's not enough good things. So so the immediate goal is the weight and the diabetes. Long-term goals is I want to help vets. Like that's one thing I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right. Is I wanted to help the community and give back. So I don't know, maybe one day I can be a coach or something. We'll figure it out later on, but you guys are stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, no, Tylor, we're so grateful to have you part of the Catch a Lift family. And I've got one last question for you today.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to be a Catch a Lift Fun veteran athlete?
Oh, it means the world to me, honestly. Just because of the motivation that it gives me, the determination, the drive that it gives me, and then once you know why Cal was started and the reason for it,
right. That's
probably I look at it like, okay, I'm carrying on his legacy, right?
Yes.
Like that's what I'm doing.
Yes.
But at the same time, for me, I'm carrying on the legacy of Sean, of Steve, of Mike, and of all the other people that we've lost, whether it be in combat or not. Because here's the way I look at it. We have the numbers of guys and gals that we lost in Iraq and Afghanistan, right? In actual combat, right? But everybody that's done it since then at home are also casualties of that war too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they would still be here had we not done what we did. Which, if you ask any of them, they wouldn't change anything about it, right? They just didn't get the help they needed in time, and that's one thing. That's another reason why why I'm glad that we were able to connect and do this, because if it can touch one person, for them to be like, whoa, let me go get the help I need. Let's see if this guy's full of crap.
Yeah. Right.
Then it's a success, right? Because that's one less person that we have to worry about not being here anymore. Whether it's a vet, whether it's a someone affiliated with Catch a Lift, or whether it's just a regular human being that's out there.
Anyone, right? For sure. Yep.
Like that's that. I hope my message isn't construed as only being for vets. It's literally for anybody.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
You go do what you need to do to get better. Because as much as people want to turn it into doom and gloom, the world's a great place, man, and we live in the best place on that planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Way more good people out there than
that.
But so for me, it's carrying on his legacy, and letting his family know that his sacrifice isn't forgotten.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that everybody else's sacrifice isn't forgotten.
Yeah.
But I keep forgetting. So there was Austin that was really big into fitness, and then there was a guy I grew up with. His name's Tavita Leota. Been my best friend for probably 15 years. He ended up joining the Army a year after I did, and he got in trouble because he was wearing a Marine Corps shirt, right? Because the rivalry.
Yeah.
Right? But then when he told I don't know Army rank, so I'm going to say first sergeant. I think it was his first sergeant. He was just basically like, hey, my best friend's in the Marine Corps. He's deployed right now. So they were like,
nice.
Pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so he's been big into fitness too. He's a little, you wouldn't think he's Samoan because he's short, right? And those people are usually monsters.
Yeah.
He didn't get the height gene. He got the everything else gene.
He didn't get the height
gene. You know what I mean? He's a monster.
Yeah.
But he's always been big into working out and stuff. And and so him and Austin were kind of the motivators, right? And then when they both gave me a rash of crap. I keep forgetting about. I forgot to mention his name too. But it's for me. It's an honor and a privilege to carry on his legacy and his family's legacy, and I just hope that they know that it's changing people's lives in the best way possible.
Is. Yes.
And so it means the world to me. Like I wish I'd done it sooner, but as they say, everything happens, the way it's supposed to happen, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
and you're here now.
Been ready, right? And
that's just it. Yeah, everything in its own time.
I'm thankful, and before we end, I just want to take a sec. I want to thank my wife again for always putting up with me and always being there for me, never judging me, even when I had my, my bad stuff. And then for my kids, I just hope I make you proud. Your dad isn't perfect, but You know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you five.
Yeah.
You know, and to all my brothers and sisters out there, keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
If you're struggling, seek help. And then to Cal, just thank you for giving me a new purpose in life. You know, told myself I wouldn't get emotional, but it's a little hard not to. You know.
No, I get it. I get it.
You know, to De La Garza, Barrickman, and Staff Sergeant Hart, Kevin Key, and Ripley, and everybody else I served with who I didn't mention because I couldn't get your permission. Just thanks for always having my back and being there for me. Barrickman specifically, because I would not be alive today if it wasn't for Barrickman.
Yeah.
And the fact that he drove me up here, and we've been in touch. We stay in touch. We don't see each other as much as we'd like. Yeah. Which is the problem, right? I don't see any of my brothers or sisters as much as I'd like.
I get that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of life or whatever. But my phone is always on. And I'll close it with a challenge to anybody who listened to this. If you're struggling and if you're a veteran and you don't want to go to the VA right away, I challenge you to figure out a way to get in touch with somebody in your phone. If you don't feel comfortable, you feel more comfortable talking to a stranger, I challenge you to get in touch with me, because I'll walk you through the process. I'll listen, right? Which is all we want.
Yeah.
And if you're not affiliated with the military and you hear this and you're struggling, I challenge you to go and seek help. You're going to be pleasantly surprised at the stuff that's out there for you. And Melissa, Kaylee, thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to come and chat. I know I'm long-winded. I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
Coach Nicole, Coach Rob, Coach Vivian, and all the other Cal coaches, thank you for motivating me, but specifically Coach Nicole and Coach Vivian. You guys are animals, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Don, Mr. Wright, thank you for everything you've done for me so far as well.
Yeah. Tylor, thank you for coming on today and sharing so openly with us. Like I said, we're so very grateful to have you a part of Catch a Lift. Thank you for your service to our great country, and we certainly thank all of our men and women who have wore that uniform. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Coach's Corner. We're always so grateful to have the opportunity to connect with our members and heal through the stories of our veteran athletes. A special thank you to our guest, Tylor, for sharing his story and his light with us all today. Thank you again, Tylor. It was tremendous. Don't forget to join us every Wednesday live at 1 p.m. Eastern on YouTube for a chance to win Cal swag and to chat with your brothers and sisters. If you like today's episode, please be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and leave us a review on your favorite streaming service. Until next week, keep it real and stay Cal strong.